So today it's again Christmas, as you can see on the screen. Yeah, this is a broadcast of Sora Chan's channel, and yeah, it's Christmas and it's been a year, and for all this time I've been releasing like dev video and like mainly just freaking put my home system there. I could also this time just by making like the display change, probably, maybe, not quite sure, maybe I could try it. Yep, no, it doesn't show right now, but let me try. Yep, so yeah, here's the overlay, and then as you can see, it's like it's like kinda, what would I say, lame, yeah, compared to like all of this crap, because like up until now I haven't changed my my style of design. I'm just like a minimalistic man. So yeah, up until now it doesn't change much, the fact that it looks so damn lame, just plain black and white for this whole year while I'm developing this, and yeah, of course you'll be very curious, why would I just like just like include like Sora Chan, this girl, singing Christmas. And the thing is simple, for this whole year I have been developing, like doing this programming, and of course what's the source of entertainment? For this poor guy that doesn't have income, well, this is my entertainment. And of course before that I would have other kind of entertainment, like games, anime, manga, books, whatever it is, there are all kinds of entertainment. But I think like this year everyone knows that like the industry for like this VTuber is like a thing now. Probably you probably know of it, or like those like in Hololive English, or like some of them, you probably would see Twitter or something. I mean, if you are active in like social media with like probably a friend of yours is like anime Weebs, so called, or otaku, then maybe they will like tell you, oh, there's this like virtual idol and she's quite cute or something like that, then you would see like those funny cute little clips there. But like yeah, this year it's been a weird year. Of course everyone say there's many change, and for programming wise, from the start of the year when I originally started programming since like 2019, last year, like the December, I could probably show you this thing. It's like quite funny. Let me find and show you the date. I hope I could show you. Yeah, look at this. It's as you can see. Wait, no, okay, it doesn't show you what. My brain is blown. Let me. I thought like there's like previous versions. No, does it show the time? Oh yeah, there you go. It's created, since like originally I also started like one of those programmers that everyone knows of. That's like like what the college teach lah. Of course I had like backgrounds in like game programming in something when I'm like a bit more younger, and there's like those stuff. But yeah, originally I started with Python, and I created like this kind of small scripts, script kiddies, whatever crap that is, whatever name you give it. I started with those kind of things, and then I found out that there's like no specification for this language, and sometimes it just doesn't work. There's like so many quick hacks, those settings, like install package pip, and then there's like path, And when you go to Stack Overflow, there's like a bunch of questions, but then some of them are like haven't resolved, or some of them works in some certain specific cases that nobody can even explain, and then at that time I never understood like what is the reason, I just thought like, no, okay, maybe it's just broken Python itself, of course Python itself is okay lah, after like for this like whole year I did my programming. Python itself is okay, the language itself, the definition, there's like a guideline for it, there's like even a reference specification, but then it's not like a standard ISO kind of specification. It's just like a summary specification, which they may change wherever they want, and they can like alter most part of it, other than like probably the core parser, probably like the language, maybe like system parts or like that, maybe like variable or string like that, those kind of fundamental concepts they could not change. But either way, it is same across all our other language, so it doesn't really matter those kind of things, even though I have it, so it's not really a thing to make it like a Python. So let's just say that Python is like defined as like including the whole packages, including the pip, including all of those C interface, which everyone praises it, say that it's very fast, it calls stuff very fast. After you benchmark it, you found out that, oh, there's overhead, oh, of course, everything makes sense now. And yeah, of course the overhead is not that much if you just call one time C function, but in reality you are not going to, when you create like a library, say I create a function of 1 plus 1 in C, and then there's like this interface for you to call in Python. Everyone would just call this function because they don't want to care about how to create that in C, and they say it's so called fast, but then most of them don't notice, like if you're going to like do like summation with like 1 plus 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 1, like for 100 times, then of course it's going to be like a huge disaster. But probably most people don't notice that, and they don't really care, and I know what's the reason. After this whole year, originally I also am quite stupid, and I thought like, oh, everyone would just like do the fastest performance cheat, like create the fastest script ever, and I'm also curious why my script isn't running so fast, I thought like, oh, Python is like quite fast, everyone said it's fast enough, and then I read my 1000-line file, it's like taking like 1 second or 2 seconds there, and I'm like, what, 1000 line, 2000 line, 2 second, 1 second, what about like 10k, 100k, oh god, it's going to lag so much, like 1 minute or something, so I thought it's not scalable. And of course Python itself is practically not scalable, it isn't built to be like that, but those big companies, Google, Facebook, they just want to like have like bunch of cheap Python programmer rather than a good C or Java or assembly programmer, which I can't blame them, they just want to get their product fast out, and cheap, just have a bunch of engineers just struggling, fix small bugs. But in the end, it works kinda for a period of time, and then they can make sure somehow reproduce that work, in a very loosely matter, and without good specification, it's fine with them, But of course like, as you know, like of course like Google itself generally like actually is not powered by Python, but they generally have like a good good amount of Python interface, like those what you call Python packages like that, that are like give to the public, as API like that. And in the code they are probably running Java, and that's the thing, or like C, I think. And maybe sometimes now recently they invented this Golang, they would probably start migrating a lot of them to Golang, or and then maybe just create their own internal version of like proprietary Golang, fork from the open source one, in that way they could like gain both benefits. And yeah, since this like whole year I have gained quite a lot of insights about like this kind of business, you know, from this perspective of like a business, you know. Whoops, just now just now the recording just got cut off because there's not enough space in my disk apparently. So yeah, let's resuming about the subject. Yeah, I have gained like quite a lot of insights, you know, from like the perspective of like, you know, developer and business owner. I'm not quite sure is my perspective the same or what, you know, but I think like generally it's just, you know, simply greed in a way, you know. So there's two level of level of desire, you know, for some kind of resource, you know. There's like the level of like just enough, you know, to self-sustain, you know, just like the Buddhists, you know, eat enough food for make yourself, you know, keep yourself just alive, you know, like monks like that. Okay, there's like another kind of level of, you know, where you are kind of just enjoying your life and you could like actually have more food and more infinitely until, you know, there's no boundaries there. That's until there's like up until certain level, then maybe most people will just treat it as like a devil or something, you know, like ha ha ha, ha, I'm too rich like that, you know, like yeah. So the scale is like from zero you have nothing till like maybe a level of what you call self-sustainable, you know, and then to a level of infinity. Okay, infinity. Okay, so what I found out is, well, normally for developer nowadays, say right now I'm showing you this screen. Okay, how am I like how certain and how certain and I am about this is going to work, you know. Say I'm a developer, I create this app, maybe OBS, you know, maybe YouTube, browser, Mozilla Firefox, everything. Okay, so maybe I create this whole system. Okay, so what's the certainty of me guaranteeing it works, you know? It just, you know, goes from the scale of like I have totally no confidence, it just maybe somehow works right now, and next moment it could just fails. Okay, to the level of, okay, I'm very sure it will works forever, for eternity. Okay, and okay, sure, so you get right, there's like infinity and there's like zero. So most company right now, you could see like the software development system compared to like 20-30 years ago concept, you know, from the older times like 90 something. Everyone is, if they are programmer, then they are probably doing like assembly C, you know, those kind of things, and their vision is like, oh, I wanted to create this language, and they generally wanted it to last for quite a long time, you know, like Linux operating system, you know, like the Linux, you know, Linux, yeah, you know, the Unix operating system type, you know, the BSD, you know, Windows, you know. I mean, they originally didn't plan to make it like for eternity. Okay, but the thing is, they started with a very good base, you know. So generally, if you ask them, I think maybe most of them will just ask you, oh sure, this could probably works like 5 years, 10 years, you know, without problem. If this dependencies, all the code I'm writing and I'm dependent on, it's all correct and it doesn't get changed, it would works exactly right now, you know. They would probably say something like this, something, you know, probably, maybe not, maybe yes. So what about modern programmers? Oh, we need to create a system. You know what, we heard there's like some library, you know, from like pip or like package, you know, from some way JSON, something like that, you know, well, not, you know, npm GitHub, you know, whatever. Oh, go download. Oh, okay, somehow make it work. Oh, it works now on my system. It works lah forever. Best thing ever. No, and then they could even sell it, and then most consumer doesn't really care, you know. In fact, most consumer doesn't really care, you know, and that's just the sad truth, you know. And the thing is, just imagine all of those like banking stuff, you know, from like 20 years ago. Like, do they seriously just do something exactly like this Python? Like, it's not the same, right? Of course, obviously, so from this year I learned that most thing, you should like choose, and determine like what's the level of like reliability you want. If I really or I mean programmers really want to have like reliability, then we should like go the right path, do it slowly with a good specification language, C, Java, something like that. There's like a book, there's like a reference, there's like updated ISO, maybe even Pascal. It's outdated, but if you really need it, you could use it, or maybe ADA, those kind of things. But then, like, honestly, I even saw like there's like software, like they use like Python, man, and they could even sell it for money, like you could even sell those programs. I'm quite mind blown, So let me find it. I think it's something like, I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I think it just proves my point, of how unreliable, but consumer doesn't really care, Yeah, even LibreOffice is using it, Like I could even show you, like, this is from LibreOffice. If I could show you the path, yeah, see this, it's so yeah, of course you could say, but it's just a simple crap, probably like this access something too base, maybe just small conversion number, but and that's exactly why, so for example, one day, how would we make sure like in the future, the future generation can get this exact source code, with especially with GitHub, you could say, we have Git management, we could like somehow trace, we just need to have a bit of Git management knowledge and skills. But then, like, from what I see, from what I know, from like, the C min GW and like the min, those forks, of like the C compiler, everything, what you can see is most of them still have those problem, like there's like some code from 90 something, 19 something, there's some code from like 2000 something, and then there's like some updated code that they just push it, and then they don't do documentation because they must need to have the same name, right? Because they are like statically linked, and then there's no documentation, no notes, when you update something, they all just depends on this so-called git or this hash, and then this hash probably nobody knows how to verify it and double check it on each release, and on each release they don't even list it out, for all of these specs, the metadata, everything. So in the end, we have this so-called goodness dependency hell, okay, and then dependency management and just software linking problems, it is common in every kind of system, in the hardware, everything. But then I think in software it's quite apparent now, if you have like one part that's like not working, and then sometimes you thought it's working, but then it's not working, then you're screwed, wow, you just get thrown out, by your own software, which is very funny, just imagine like one day you are trying to like, calling like emergency ambulance, and then suddenly your Python script just doesn't work, yeah, because it just automatically updates it. You thought it could like, you thought like the system have like forward compatibility, but in fact it doesn't, and then just get mind blown, and then somebody just just lost, in front of you, and then you could do nothing, then it's not fun anymore. So yeah, for this year I learned quite a lot of things, and generally the reason why my home system or my ES system is still this simple is for it's for this reason, honestly, and nothing more than that, honestly. It's also just simplistic and just easy to maintain, But of course I thought like for next year I'm seriously going to expand this more, but I think the basis of statement still holds, like software developments, if like we are just like going infinity and just rushing a bunch of features, putting it in, and then without this plugin system, luckily I had created that plugin system. I could even start a new console from like this home system. If maybe I could show you like, wait, did it started? Oh no, it probably didn't started because I didn't gave it a plugin. So let me check, and yeah, wait, can I show you this? Yeah, I think I could show you this. Yeah, this is what's some things like, in my view, quite neat, right? So as you can see, my software is like honestly quite neat compared to other kind of software, like the Windows. Yeah, see, it's quite neat, compared to other software. It's just like few objects there, and let's say compare, like, just simply look at this open source CI doc. Just look at this. It's not even in like one page, okay? There's the scroll bar is like even like you could even scroll for like 1 second or 2 seconds there, and internally there's like recursively, I don't know how many parts there. There's like image, styles, websites there. It's so complicated, and then just compare it to like some dear, like look at this asset viewer Unity one. Look at this cute, just look at that compactness, okay? So of course, for this whole year I'm still not getting like the exact thing I want, the exact result lah. And oh yeah, I've talked like probably for like 20 minutes. Yeah, it's probably next video, so of course I'm going to bring you guys there also. So yep, I'm going to bring you guys there, for no reason, because just for fun, and then for free entertainment, okay? Like it's just a good background, okay? And we have like background noise or audio, BGM, okay? Big brain moment, okay? And it's free, okay? So yeah, I do not think it like I reaches like my original aim. And honestly, originally I started programming because I wanted to create like an analytical engine, and I am now actually working on it because I already have finished like my AI research for like quite a long time, and my god, it's ads again. Could I disable it? Yeah, disable it. Yes, you did not see the ads. Okay, so yeah, well, yeah, originally I wanted to like, create like an analytical system, that I can, just use and analyze a bunch of crap, and then be like that cool kids, with like that weird glasses or something, and then you could like some kind of matrix boy like that, which, in which case I haven't reached that level, which is funny and also lovable for my initial thoughts, but it's also always a good aim to have, as a programmer. It's not a bad thing to have like this kind of silly dreams, or aims, of course. So oh yeah, so you just look at this. Yeah, just now I could not open it because I have not opened my home. I have not enabled my plugin system. So this is the problem I'm talking about. See, we let me just minimize this, okay? Yeah, just look at this silliness again. You see, this is what I'm still currently facing after this whole year, okay? It's my bad memory, okay? Just very simple. I forget to start my plugin system again, And of course when I try to use my plugin, it doesn't work. Okay, I already made it that it just returns no output. Okay, I did not show it to you guys, but yes, it will always returns no output if the plugin doesn't work, or it doesn't exist, or whatever case it is, it just fails. Okay, for whatever reason it fails, it will just always returns no output. If it fails very hard and crash the whole thread or something, the programming, the thread, Java thread, not a real-time thread or whatever, not always thread. Okay, so it's software thread. Okay, if it crashes the whole thread, it will return a log and then try to create a log from another thread. Okay, so originally I also created this app to as a kind of reminder. Obviously, you set timer on, read. It's like the very fundamental things for even like old men would use, across any generation. From small boy, they could even use a timer for play games, study, whatever it is. For read, it works on any scenario. You just give it a file path name and then it would read that text file. For now I just only support text file, which is funny, and I wanted to expand it, but I also thought that expanding it in the core app would make it just more bloated, just like Windows built-in functions. So for this year I also thought about this question: to what degree is it bloated in the whole, the core thing, the so-called core? Always if you create a software and if it scales, they will generally label something as core. So what is a good way to like standard this, label this as core or something? And of course after a year I found out that there's no good answer. Okay, again, it all depends. Yeah, you could say, yeah, I like this, you like that, yeah, and there's like an infinite argument, and you could even create a Stack Overflow thread and then everyone argument, and then the mod just go and close it, funny crap, it's just waste of everybody time, and then probably get deleted again, and then the new one just created the same thread again. Big brain. Okay, so of course, so for me personally, I would just tend to have like the so-called core is just like the bare bones skeleton, maybe with just few muscles that make sure it could walk smoothly, with like maybe like the what you call lubricant, like fats oil or something like that. Okay, that's it. And then maybe glucose or maybe something hard like that. Okay. But yeah, it all depends, of course, which is very funny. Of course, for this home system, yes, it's not going to change, but honestly I don't think it's going to change, but until I found a way to like really fully utilize the resource, like those embedded software or something. But yeah, for this whole year I had like learned quite a lot of stuff, honestly, from this software, the various perspective, various conflicts, various so-called styles, and I found out, oh yeah, everything is flexible. Yeah, of course, like everything else in life, nothing is fixed or like have like a definite answer, because there's no guideline, there's no equation. Like humans cannot find equation of meaning of life, of fun or happiness, which is stupid and good in a way. Not everyone is like chasing the rich man dream or something, which is good. Some could just become like a rapist or god knows hero, skills from every dimension, which is flexible, and which is what makes this this kind of YouTube entertainment. I'm like, this is what entertainment is about. Maybe you could just experience something you would not normally experience and just enjoy it. So of course, let's back to the main topic and just simply go back to stop ranting and maybe just give a glimpse of what the heck have I like logged, or just recorded like for for this whole development time, for this whole whole year. So the first thing is, let's just show the properties of the coding experience file. How big is that? It's for 40 MB. It's 40 MB. Well, it's kind of normal, but when when you compare that to say I thought like I have like my daily life. Just look at my daily file life size, and just look at that scale, that difference. Yeah. So honestly, I still have my daily life in a way. I still have my daily life. I still have some fun things that I found. Like from here I immediately I could saw VTuber, Unity Japan, sceneries, try soft maths, random downloaded, February outing, extra data, Malaysia stuff, some other stuff, news, USA, COVID, day of programmer this year. I found out that we have a day of programmer. So yeah, it's a nice overview of this year. There's many stuff there. I have like go in online, offline. For offline, honestly, as you know, we don't have much place to go. Just practically stay home again, which is funny. Okay. So for this year, I think I could probably show some of these to you guys. This year, this year, as you know, I originally started with this home system dev, and then because I found out somebody used this name, I don't know why they are not maintained in GitHub or YouTube anymore. I don't know where, but I saw it, and then I'm like, okay, if there's someone that's like labeling their app or whatever as home system, I thought it's a generic name also, so I just changed it to a mixture of Japanese hybrid Robanji ES system. Okay, so from here, the start of our journey is from home system, and I think I show most of these to you guys honestly. So here it's like something like that, clean, something like China example. CN, I think it's China, I'm not quite sure, it's probably is. Okay, more secure, improve memory, close to release memory state. I'm not quite sure what is close to. Oh yeah, the animation, that time I'm still developing the animation. This I hope I could show you a picture of it. Oh no, pain, there you go, like without animation. This is like the home system version 90 something. Yeah, home 90 something. Can I just push it? Yeah. There you go. So, and then honestly, I think the part where I burst very very much is like when I'm not quite sure, is it June or something? Like my English month. Okay, 6. Okay, what is the month of 6? Okay, God, I'm not quite sure. Probably I'm going to add it to overlay it or something. Yeah, but yeah, that month I researched so much. Like the home system plugin. That time I just started like my this plugin system. Creating it. And then improve memory. Refactor the file read. Rework home system. The back end. What. So-called backend is actually just logic solver for this this cute command, this cute command crap, just rework it a bit. Of course, now it's quite improved. It's improved very much, and I even have like this test suite, which I before release I will always run it, and that's a guarantee, because I don't want to have like crappy non-working function crap. It would just like hinder my whole crap. I would just rather keep like not releasing it or something like that, or just make it work, then I will release it, fix it then release. But honestly, it's quite impossible to crash lah. It's just not possible to crash. The plugin system is very solid already. I doesn't really manipulate it or change it already. The speed is okay because it's actually just normal, because I use like the normal list, the Java, the SDK list, it's not the optimized fast utils or like those other high performance list library. I actually should have known that, and that's the thing with limited resource and knowledge for human. So that's why, because I found out that if I had the knowledge before, if I can search about this before, I would be so much more better off, to create this home system plugin and like have like this very high performance, this very good performance, as a baseline for this plugin, like the resolve, because inner, there's like very complicated 2 to 3 4 dimensions, there's like the array resolve, the command, the string, parser. It's always like that, any parser is quite complicated, but yeah, that's how it is. It's not that fast, but it's quite fast enough. It's at least not slower than probably like Python code Python coded list or array probably. So I'm quite satisfied with that. And for this year, of course, we also had this animation originally, which I originally always put my character there, but for this version, I think I did not enable it or something. And yeah, I'm still using like, what's that, like the naive, the setting, like the stock setting, okay, the stock personalized setting. So yeah, there's no character there. Yeah, there's no weird character there. There's only this background, the YouTube background. Okay. So for this whole year, I started originally with, Python, and then of course, I at the start, before we didn't have COVID, I did like some jobs, okay, and then of course earn some money. And then when COVID started, my mom also know it, I also know it, and I originally wanted to go to university, and of course I didn't because of COVID, and I just let it go, and then I try to research, Erlang, Python, do this, do that, try this, try that. And because my basis is very bad, and the problem is with Windows, okay, there's no good guidelines, there's no good specifications, and most system, like most setup, they don't tell you that they are dependent on path, this like some kind of OS variable, okay. And dumb shit me, just go everywhere, and then just couldn't solve it, because it's not code, it's not file, it's just simply the OS environment variable, and that is quite a hilarious story, and a stupid grind, honestly, and nobody taught this, or teach this, or even like Stack Overflow doesn't really point out that the basis is like that, or like most other tutorials, okay, they always tell you to set the path, okay, but the thing is, they don't tell you how to delete it or how to make sure it's right, this is the thing wrong with the online tutorials, honestly. But anyway, let's not blame them, they probably try their best, or they just want some ads. And yeah, so I struggled for like some kind of time, some period of time. Up until then, I found out, okay, I could set up this. If I don't really wanted to use path, I could just set it at runtime, in short is you start with nothing and you set it manually. At some specific time you trigger it, right? Runtime trigger, right? Then slowly I started, then slowly started to like have this complete setup. We could run some kind of code, okay, and then I understand this basis, and then started to go into this so-called object-oriented programming. Wow, what's this? Hazy as hell, I have no idea. Wow, confusing as hell description, confusing as hell analogy, okay, which doesn't really relate or doesn't really affect, honestly. You just need to get the product done. 1 plus 1 is 1 plus 1. Why you give it object A and B and then a bunch of extra properties? This is stupid, okay? That's what my brain probably thought about in some kind of period of time, and then up until now sometimes I still think about that. It's so stupid. You give it more and more info, okay? It's just a waste of space and energy, you know. So continue on, then slowly I thought like, oh, okay, I could have this small system, then I could scale it, you know, have like an app, okay. Then of course, then slowly I thought like, okay, I have like all kind of this kind of small crappy code or these scripts, you know, could I just link all of them together into a system? Then here comes I start to develop my home system. I think it is around something probably like the time when I think probably when I'm like, oh yeah, I think it's like probably when I'm like, what you call March or something, when I have this testing or something, I think. Yeah, home system plus multi-thread, I think. Yeah, let me find it. Yeah. Test. Yeah, I think. Yeah. It's at the time where yeah, here, let me show you. Yeah, this. Did you guys see it? Oh no, I'm not. Does this even show you guys? Yeah. See it. Okay. So that's it. Okay. The Java XX, the Java FX. Okay. That's the time around then. Okay. Like March or something around there. Okay. Then I thought about, oh yeah, GUI, man, GUI. Nobody wants to develop in command line, man. This is stupid, you know. Sometimes you just want to kind of just move your mouse and then just click something, you know, and then it just works, you know. It's good. But then of course I also know that there's the limitation, okay, of buttons. You could not squeeze infinite button in like 1 pixel, you know, compared to a command line. Okay, command line you can squeeze infinite function, and it's still a command line. It still works, okay, it still displays everything, right? But in GUI you just could not do that, okay. So of course I also, after a while, I would notice that, oh yeah, I would need to have like some kind of like, you know, like Windows, there's like the tab there, you know, you could search, run some function like that. The very fundamental of everything, just functions, okay, right? Makes sense. Then I slowly develop, and I thought about, it's so boring, it looks lame, I have no character, there's nothing interesting, just a black and white. And at that time, I think at that time I didn't even have black, okay, up until and I'm not quite sure. I think like it's at the time around when I started doing like the character. Then I just, you know, it's a side project, you know, sub whatever it is, okay, sub task, okay. Then I just thought like, I like that dark theme because I just don't like bright crap, you know, and it's like very, you know, very obvious or everything, you know. It's just like very bright, you know, and especially when you're in the night, okay. Just open that app and you're like, wow, this is so bright, oh my god, okay. Okay, so then I added the dark theme, okay, then I started develop more and more. Then up until then, I think it's like 7 or 8, then I thought about, I originally also wanted to do AI, okay. I wanted to like create some AI. For now actually I have like AI, okay, and I'm not quite sure could I play it to you guys or something. But yeah, I have like successful, I mean like it's not from scratch, but I just simply like reproduce the Takatron from like the NVIDIA, you know, the whole wave glow, some kind of, you know, those text to speech, you know, one of them, okay. And yeah, I reproduce it, okay, just make it work, okay. And I try to train on it, okay, and I try to create my own AI library, and I get like the I also joined like the Stanford, machine learning course. Everyone, even in YouTube, says that it's good. Okay, those pros, so-called, that's more popular than me. They just talk about it and say that it's good. I joined it. It's quite good. It gives you a good understanding. But so yeah, that's after reading it and then participating in it, get the certificate. Then I started to like, I wanted to like, this is the time when like I'm like just really freaky about like the crappy blotted code from like various frameworks, and just look at those issues. Oh, there's like 5,000 issues in TensorFlow, wow, PyTorch, wow, those kind of reaction, yeah. So I thought about like, yeah, why? That's why, man. It's very simple. It's just dependencies on dependencies without documentation, and they just hire more engineer and they just try to make it work. And then if it works, they just save it like that, and then they don't care about others, and they just gain more contribution from open source community, and then they don't care. And then if they need it, they can use it, okay, for free. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's just all free shit, okay. It's just all free shit. Best course, okay. Better for big company. Best thing ever, owned by Google. Best, okay. They could even have like a good fork, and then they could have like actually know all of these things, but they just shut up all of it and just have a bunch of proprietary things inside there. And I think it is proven to be true by a lot of senior Google engineer. If you ask them, they will say that yes, they are probably a bunch of proprietary tool, because the reason is simple. The reason is quite simple, because I also does that, okay. Not on my home system, but the tools I'm using, okay. So example, when I'm developing it, okay, I'm creating this home system, I'm not going to give everything you needed to create this home, reproduce this exact home system, okay. Nobody is going to be that stupid and then give themselves more burden and everything, okay. And of course you could say, yeah, it's open source, okay, you don't own them, they don't own you, okay. And yeah, that's exactly why. And if you contribute them so much, extra much, more, then you're just quite dumb. But it doesn't really matter, it depends on you, okay. If you really enjoy their service, or you enjoy like their open source framework, then yeah, feel free to do so. But that's just a business view, okay. Business view, and of course I found out that most programmer doesn't have this business view exactly, and this is why we have cheat codes, compared to like olden times. Honestly, if you take like this Nintendo Game Boy, and like you look at those Game Boys, okay, and you play those Nintendo Switch, or like all those older one, those Nintendo emulator, those whatever it is, okay, old console, does it ever fail? Fail so easily like modern computer or everything that we mostly have right now, these apps or something that you need to update? Don't you think it's quite obvious that actually our software quality is like generally decreasing across time, honestly, compared to increasing? I mean, in a small scale, okay, not in a big scale, okay. In a big scale, actually we are increasing the performance in a way, the sustainability in a quality, especially only if you are in a big company. That's why, okay. So you pay those big companies, they hire a bunch of engineers, they could pay them quite good, not bad, okay. Not cheaper, not very cheap. In fact, they would say that, oh, if you work in Silicon Valley, you are probably going to be very rich or something like that, if you like have like other house or something, okay, and you know how to do your investment, everything else, imagine you are like in the perfect state or something, have like very huge assumptions, everything, okay. So yep, it's quite funny, but like, yeah, the quality itself, in fact, generally most software is decreasing. And if the software is bad, now more and more people just install software, doesn't really care, because they don't really have the knowledge to determine, is it good, is it bad. Just one of the good example is you just go and check, qubit torrent. I think for now this time there's still one issue. There's like Windows Store, they have like this third party repackage this open source qubit torrent, this open source library as a app in Microsoft Store, and they charge it probably for advertising money and something. And yeah, I think there's quite a number of downloads there. Probably I'm quite sure it's just what it is. Okay, so yeah, the consumer is actually kinda not, I would say generally nowadays is just not really up for the real power performance or like the real speed, the concept of like the good crap. I'm not quite sure, is it just a very small vision thing, or like just my personal perception. But I think overall the consumer idea to the the expectation of software is kind of just, as long as it works, it doesn't really matters, as long as it's not overly, it's like increasingly non-stop, as long as it just doesn't non-stop increase usage or like crush the whole thing. They will just accept it as it is. Okay, and they won't like pick or like debate or like pick price or something like that. So honestly, the big companies of course probably know about this, and they are just going the cheap side. Okay, one of the most obvious thing is this kind of apps everywhere in the phone, okay, industry, okay, mobile industry. All of this is very easy, okay, simple. The fix start for you to install your app. Okay, and it's end next video. Okay, so wow, just this is a good overview for this whole year, but it's quite long and it's quite funny. I'm just using like it as like a background right here. This is just genius. Okay, peak quality. Okay, so yeah, so of course big companies are going to notice this, this trend of decreasing consumer what do you call it? Consumer desire for quality. I'm not quite sure, like the quality desired by the consumer. Okay, like the target, okay, is decreasing slowly and slowly. Okay, compared to the early 90s, originally when the computer started, everyone installs it. Okay, checks it. Okay, reads it, checks that it doesn't access random variable or something, and then slowly humans become more and more lazy, and then humans become more and more lazy, but they pay for it again, and then this keeps repeating. Okay, and then some of it you pays it, but they even have ads, and they actually still have more source of incomes than you think. and yeah, it's quite funny. Okay, so for this whole year, I also found out this, like, yeah, the developer itself is, including me, is quite stupid. Okay, just look at me creating this home system. No bloat, no tracking, no email, no anything. Okay, it's just a one go software. Okay, it's if you use it for like military, for whatever, nuclear bomb, trigger nuclear bomb with this plugin, I would not know it. I have no idea. It doesn't have ads for this whole long time. I put it there, it doesn't pop up ads. It's quite stupid. I don't gain any financial benefits, compared to this YouTube. Okay, you watch it, they have ads. Okay, okay, they have ads, and then just now I also blocked one of them, right? So yeah, and they have this like extra investors. You watch it, you have like a bunch of ads, you gain a bunch of interactions. It's fun. Of course fun is another aspect. Okay, it's the programmer wise thing. Okay, and that's the thing I notice I'm also lacking. And of course I know that I am quite lame. Okay, I'm not like some kind of peak entertainment like PewDiePie or something. And yeah, that's of course what I noticed. And of course that's the reason why I designed this ugly as hell, this ugly as hell box software, which I call it software, okay? My home system, okay, which is ugly as hell, okay. So yeah, this year it's not really as like packed full as what normally one would probably feel. I'm not quite sure. I'm probably still quite young, compared to some old guys, okay. Probably they would have more experience, and they would have like experienced the time of year, and they would know that some year is like especially interesting or lame, but for this year I just kind of like will wake up develop app, code programming, watch this, this kind of entertaining videos, watch other kind of videos, maybe like something like PewDiePie, whatever it is, Mr. Beast, whatever, music video, new music, or listen to it, programming, loop, and then development, study, of course it's my personal thing, that I choose to study, most other people would probably choose and play forever. They would rather just choose to probably stream and then on Twitch, or like just play, and then they rest, and then they play, but then they would have income, actually, probably, maybe yes, maybe not. Okay, that's another thing for them, okay, and that's another topic about another stream kind of thing, okay. So yeah, I think this year it's quite a good review to myself, that I have definitely improved. not in a very huge knowledge sense, like compared to like what you would learn in like a year of like study university or something. You probably learn a bunch of concepts, okay, theory, algebra, who to replace, how to calculate the right number. I think mine is probably, I would say, more practical in like compared to school or any kind of formal education crap that you could find, okay, which is quite good. And I think this is probably the end, okay. And maybe just let me find something, maybe to just end this beautifully, maybe yes. Okay, let me just try this. I'm not quite sure it works or not. I hope it works. I think it works. I'm not quite sure I'm even typing in the correct or right command. But yeah, I think you could see this, right? Yeah, shining. Yes, I updated it. It's one of the features. But I think this would show everything. Oh yeah, enjoy this scene. Enjoy this. And I'm going to end this. See you, and of course, Merry Christmas.